push my grandmother's grandfather to forsake her directions. I'm the prostitute that she spoke of. And I'm a victim of the hereditary sexual abuse of colonization. I inherited sexual abuse at 3 years old. I sold my body for 30 years on these streets. And I pray for our sisters that are sleeping in these tents on these cold nights. I pray for our sisters that are in the alleys getting beaten by the dealer, making to slang for them, to hold dope for them, to buy from them. I pray for our sisters and brothers. You know, our brothers are made to do the same thing, and they go to Boys Town and sell their butts. You know, I pray for them. I pray for our two-spirited who get beat down here, get beat down there, get beat down here. They have nowhere to go or nowhere to just be. I pray for them. I come here today to be with my family, and I honor my brother for standing as our patriarchal backbone, with the matriarchal side of our family. And I thank the Creator. I have 9 grandsons, and I want to pray that they never ever hurt a woman. I want to pray that they stand like my brother behind us, protecting us. I put a call out to all males and females. You know, it's time that we rise and we change the system and change the law. It's time that we rise and start being political. Let's get into, you know, politics. Let's raise little politicians so they can make those changes. All our relations. God bless you.
Thank you. Powerful speech. I'm Razo. I'm here on behalf of my family. Roberta Ferguson was missing August 24th, 1988. She was 19. She was just trying to get home. You know, she was last seen by her niece, Robbie, and we are here, me and my kids are here in honor of her. And yeah, we're missing our loved ones. You know, we're always searching. I've been there twice in the same campground, and every time, twice I went, I heard her name calling me. I know she's out there in the spirit world, but I want answers. We all want answers. So yeah, we're here in honor of Roberta Ferguson. Thank you.
Eunice, can we have you up here? And then DJ. I just wanted to let you families know that it's being live streamed, and I believe the media is here filming too. So let me know if it's okay or not. Thank you.
My name is Eunice McMillan. I'm from the Hamalko Nation, and my dad is from the Haisla Nation. This is my niece, Elva McMillan, beside me. Her mom passed, it's been 10 years, and still nothing has been done about Nadine McMillan. My niece I talk about every year, and it just breaks my heart of how much justice is not happening for all our sisters. The thing that happened was the grandmother, her dad, Sam Gray from the Nishka, and her great-grandmother, Gwen Nelson. She's the one that witnessed what happened to Nadine. She was coming down the right side of the viaduct on Hastings. 2 men, one Caucasian and one from Africa. They both had her by each arm, dragging her along the viaduct. The grandmother that was on the other side, why do you want to hurt this young lady? They proceeded to take her to a car at the end of the viaduct. They put her in the vehicle. Next day, I was called to go witness that that's my niece. What they did is they took her in the vehicle, brought her to Pandora and Lakewood, and she was found in one of the rooms of these apartments. I had to go identify my niece and to see 2 syringes, one in each arm of my niece. That was very hard for me. I had to do this for my sister because she had heart condition. And it's been years justice has not been done for all our sisters, all around the world, all our sisters. And I say thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to lead the Missing Women's March for how many years now. And it's just for us trying to get justice. Justice is what we need for our people. Thank you.
I'm here on behalf of the downtown Eastside, and I'm here on behalf of Sister Watch. The DVD can be here today, like one of the board members. They give their condolences to the family and to everybody that came today. And I'm here on behalf of CD and Sandra. They used to be the number 1 in the security line. I have a picture here on my friend's wheelchair here, if everybody can see that. She'll be coming in the march. They're going to be sadly missed. I miss them so much already. It's been really hard on me. And just to be here today, I'm glad I made it today.
This is the first time that my mom hasn't been here. She comes every year. She rides in a van, but she's watching. She loved everybody at the Women's Center. She was very loved and she's very missed. This is her first year. She hasn't made it. She's been coming here since it first started. And I started coming here for her and all the other girls, all my friends that have gone. I love you all. CD, I love her too. My mom, Muriel Burnell, she loves everybody, and everybody loves her, and she's sadly missed. And I miss everyone that is gone. That's all I can say. Thank you very much.
My name is Sky Spirit Child and Northern Lights Woman. I come from the Otter and Martin clan. Anishinaabe Kwe from Shoal Lake, Ontario. In 2015, I was stabbed 14 times, stabbed in the jugular, and my throat was slit and I was left for dead. And I'm very proud to be here and surrounded by a whole bunch of matriarchs and strength and resilience. I'm a singer, a dancer, a writer, and poet. And I'm very honored to have my drum sisters here with me so we can sing and walk. I also want to honor my auntie Ria, she passed away here 30 years ago. Someone hot dosed her in the alleys and she was left for dead and raped. I also am speaking on behalf of my partner here, of his mother. She was one of the missing and murdered. They found one of her limbs and she was only 15 years old. So I'm very proud to be here and surrounded by people that support the community, because the only way that I have been able to survive is through song, dance, powwow, music, and culture, and the fact that we all support each other and we love each other. I also want to speak about what happened last night with the VPD. We were sitting outside of my residence and I was vocalizing, like I was practicing my vocal cords. I was just singing native songs, like we weren't doing anything wrong. And 7 cop cars came. 7 cop cars came. Yeah. 7 cop cars came. Between me and him, we were just sitting outside. The VPD did that, and they were trying to separate us, and they called it a breach of peace for me singing. And they put him in handcuffs. And I also want to acknowledge what happened. There was a vehicle, it went around my place of residence 3 times, the same vehicle. There's predators out here. We're 12 times, 15 times more likely to go missing and murdered. So the fact that they don't acknowledge that vehicle, I do a lot of good work in the community, and yeah, I'm really excited to do this walk, and I'm very thankful for all of the women here and the men that are supporting us, and we're all united. We're not, yeah, we're stronger together than divided, and and more articulate. Thank you for listening.
Eldon H. We have Eldon, Melanie, Vanya, and then Clarence. I just wanted to let you family members know that we're being live streamed and we need to be heading out by 5 to 12 to March or sooner.
Well, my name is Melanie, and one of the worst, well, unfortunately a career that I chose in my lifetime was to work the streets, the downtown Eastside streets. And unfortunately, I do know our women are disappearing, and I'm not sure why, but I know if there are powers out there to be, like the CIA, the SS, the FBI, why does it continue? Why do they continue to to attack and market our women? Because our women are being drugged and sold in certain parts. In fact, a long time ago, I lost a lady from California. I had her phone number, and I know who was doing it, and it happened in a small hotel, and they drugged her up on heroin and on what they call jib, which is speed. So she lost her mind, and they sold her. And I lost her phone number, and I couldn't help. But these people are still out there, and they're still selling women, and they are still abusing women, and they are still hacking them to bits in their little drug wars. A woman was found hacked to bits at Crab Lake. The police police covered it up. Why? I still drummed. But why did the police cover it up? I don't know why. Why do we have all this graffiti on our streets? Why is it still here? I don't know why. Why is the downtown Eastside treated so differently from the rest of the world? That's what I would like to know. Why is the downtown Eastside treated so differently from the rest of the world? You would not see women disappearing like this, and you would not hear people trying to hush our voice. It's not right. And that's all I have to say today. However, I would like peace to exist within the hood. Peace, please. That's all I'm asking for. Peace.
Thank you. I have one. Thank you.
Oki Sanidati, that means hello, how are you in my language. My name is Vinaya Jobin. I come from the Nisga'a Nations and the Blackfoot Nations. I'm from Siksika Reserve. Why I'm up here today is to honor my great-grandmother, Hazel Ryder Black Wolfchild. My great-grandmother, she was murdered in downtown Calgary. She was found on the railroad tracks. The RCMP did nothing to look into her investigation. She was seen, as all of our women, mistreated, just left under the rug. Nothing was done. So unfair. The RCMP said to our family she was just nothing but another dead Indian. They did nothing to look into her death whatsoever. And that's why I'm here today standing with my hands held high. No more stolen sisters.
No more stolen sisters.
Thank you.
Masai, Clarence?
No, that's my grandma.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Clarence Hall, and I'm here first to honor the missing and murdered Indigenous women of the downtown Eastside. And I'm also here to acknowledge my missing niece, April Cresian, who's been missing since April of last year from Hope. We've had hardly any help from the RCMP. Our family has been doing this all on their own, trying to find my missing niece. We miss her very much, and I was just asking you to keep her in your prayers, and Haichika.
Thank you. Bradley?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming down here this morning. I am extremely happy and sad at the same time to see this happen in 1920 and 21, that our sisters are still having to go through this. 9 years ago, when I first came up here, I was adopted out of Burns Lake and moved out of the country. And I had about 9 years ago, I came back and I had discovered that my cousin, Alicia Tom from the Burns Lake area, had disappeared. And I had no idea that any of this has been happening up here due to just so many things that the government has lied and told me different stories. And I have birth aunts and here in Vancouver and in the Burns Lake area. And when I discovered that she had disappeared, really wanted me to be angry about it. But I knew that, you know, you can only do so much. But when I told my birth aunts that I was very saddened about this and if there's anything that I could do, I know that my cousins up in Burns Lake are very active in protesting for the right thing. And I just want to say thank you for everyone showing up down here this morning, the brothers and sisters. And it just makes me very happy that there's just so many down here this morning that we can, you know, have people listen to our voice and our understanding and saying that, for the downtown east side, that, we need to stop the nonsense and watch over the sisters and make sure that, why is this still happening in 2021? And I want to thank everyone again for being down here this morning. And it's a wonderful turnout. And thank you.
Thank you all for your patience. I know we're supposed to be marching by noon.
Hello, my name is Cheyenne Layton. I'm here for my mom who was murdered back in '95. She was murdered on my birthday, June 15, 1995, and I was born June 15, 1992. Till this day, there's no justice for her. It's like she was forgotten from others, but from me, she's never going to be forgotten. She's always going to be here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. OCM. Welcome to the unceded lands of the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh. Anyway, I'm Claire Santone. I'm Mama Bear from Burnaby Mountain. But anyways, I'm missing my family from Mount Currie, the real woman warrior singers. So they're not going to be here this year, so it's kind of hard for me not to see them here, but good to see all of you. And I'm here marching today for my niece, Cassandra Antone, whom I love and miss so dearly. This blanket that I'm wearing right here was the last blanket that she used. And so I made it into a shawl. My sister made it into a shawl because I come to the march every year. So can you all please stay safe? I know we got to start marching, so I love you all my relations. Welcome to the unceded lands of the Squamish peoples. OCM.
Thank you all thank you families. My condolences to you all.
I was 34 years old. I'm going to be 64 this year. So we did good. But, you know, through this work, it was,
Everything's done?
you know, learning about your own family, my mother, and my 3 sisters, and my cousins
So the whole inside of the
that were
circle is
violently
done.
murdered down
You can
here.
move to the outside of the circle and serve Bannock.
It was Rita's vision that we need to do something. We need to pull this together. So when they started marching that day, like I said, people thought they were crazy. And here we are 30 years, 29 years later. 30 years later. I don't have Alzheimer's, I got sometimers. Anyways, what this woman has taught us, you know, our elder, is who we are, and be proud of who we are. Proud to walk these streets, and the strength that we carry within ourselves as mothers, grandmothers, aunties, sisters. But it was through these teachings with this incredible woman, who I'm so proud to say has been my grandmother, has been my mom, because I grew up as an orphan. And she's been our mentor and our teacher, teaching us about who we are, that we are so conjoined to this land that we walk on. One of the elders also made mention, when we talk about homeless people, don't ever call them homeless, they're houseless. The land that we walk on, that is theirs to share. And that's not for sale. That's not for sale. We are not for sale. But this woman here, our elder Rita, never complained. They get a little bit bossy every now and then, but she's never asked anything. She's always mindful when she has her medicine. I never forget when she first started walking through on the downtown Eastside, you know, from the Women's Center with her medicine in hand. It was like parting of the Red Sea. The addicts would put their needles down, their paraphernalia down, so respectful. They would look at the elder. Can you please pray with me? Can you please smudge me? And she never wavered. She never wavered. She always stood. Always had that time to talk with them, walk through the alleys with us. Carol Martin and myself, we never knew what was ahead of us. But we had trust and we had the faith in these elders that what they've taught us is truth. And that truth is about who we are. And we rise, and we're going to keep rising. The red women rising. We stand with our brothers. We stand with our brothers because without our brothers, there's no balance. And our children, the most precious that she talks about is the family. And the sacrifices that this woman has made, just like the other elders, Elder Harriet Smith, Prince here, and Elder Annie, and Elder Dawn. There's so many elders that are not here with us today. We raise our hand to you, how to you, for taking this journey with us and for the teachings. I would like to bring Priscilla up here to read a message for Elder Rita Blind on her 30th anniversary walk. I have to announce with the Elder's permission, Elder Rita will be with us walking, but she's handed over the reins to our sister, our auntie, our warrior, Cecilia Point. Cecilia Point will be carrying the medicine from this day forward with the next Memorial March. And we like to honor also Cecilia Point and say how to her. Come on, you guys can drum it up and say holla to the Elder Rita. I had a conversation before this was even going to be well announced and that, and his Elder Rita already knew months ago, who was her choice that she wants to pass this work on to. So we like to say holla again to Cecilia for accepting this work, this incredible work, and we'll still be there with her. Elder Rita will still be there too. But she thought it was time that if she, passed the reins over to this incredible warrior woman, Cecilia Point. So without further ado, I would like to ask Cecilia to please read a letter that was sent to our Elder Rita Blind.
Elder Rita Blind. Dear Elder Blind, my heart is with you, the organizers, the survivors, and the families this weekend as we honor the lives of the loved ones tragically lost, recognizing that this Sunday is the 30th anniversary of the Women's Memorial March. I want to thank you for your advocacy and unwavering commitment to honor the lives of the missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and the Two-Spirit LGBTQ1A or IA. People in the downtown Eastside of Vancouver, the loss of these women, girls, and the Two-Spirit LGBTQIA people leaves families, friends, and loved ones with overwhelming grief. And this Memorial March is an important component of remembrance and community healing. While I cannot be with you on Sunday, let me reassure you that we know families, survivors, and communities are looking for answers and action. We are accelerating our work on the National Action Plan that is being co-developed with the Indigenous women and the Two-Spirit LGBTQ1 or IA people and organizations, provincial, territorial, and Indigenous governments to address the unique needs, experiences, and cultural contexts of all Indigenous peoples and the communities, and address the issues identified in the final report of the National Inquiry on Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. Thank you for your continued commitment to honoring those we have lost and putting an end to this tragedy. Sincerely, Honorable Carol Ann Bennett, the MD-PC MP.
Hello everyone. I want to thank you all for coming out and standing in solidarity with our issues. This is just not something that's just on the surface. This goes down really, really deep. I'm really, really honored to have been walking alongside our Elder Rita. I'm kind of sad.
All right, and I'll step away.
She's a wealth of knowledge. She stood by us and fought with us,
6 feet away.
We took over the Women's Center, I don't know, about 13, 14 years ago with our women. We couldn't get our women into shelters. And we occupied downtown Eastside Women's Center. And we got a shelter for our sisters because of stigma, racism, all those labels, everything that's attached to us. We couldn't get our sisters into any safe place, shelters or transition houses. And so we positioned ourselves beside this elder and occupied Women's Center until we got a shelter going. We've done a lot of things over the years, traveled as far back east as we could for defending the land, talking about our homelessness, housing. I like what you said, Bernie. It's a different frame of mind for me. We're not homeless, we're houseless on our own land. That's a new seed that's planted in my head. You know, when we, this has been a really, really tough 2 years. The last two have been just going downhill with a lot of our women. And Rita has stood by us. She's like the tree, the strength. Someone who we can go to when we fall to our knees. Someone who will bring up the medicine and remind us of our roots and who we are. Our cultures definitely have saved our lives. And to each and every one that's standing here, we have lost someone very close to us. I want you to all take a look at each other, take a look at who you're standing by, and learn to protect. Because if we can't find protection, I asked for a protection order at the National Inquiry. Who can we go to apply for a protection order? I'm not going to ask anymore. We have to do that ourselves. And you know, this elder who stood by us for so many years, I'm feeling sad. You know, she'll be with us still, but you know, I'm hoping she's just a phone call away from me because we all need our elders in our life. Louisa has been a big support for me in the community too. Ernie, I see a lot of familiar faces here of people who have helped me, especially through my hard time. I almost lost my daughter. She could have been a statistic. I could have been up here, you know, talking about that, but she managed to survive. And Rita is always there for me, you know, and she's been there for so many people. She ran the healing circle down here for so many years. She did a lot of the cultural programming at the Women's Center. And like Bernie said, we lived out by the seat of our pants. We didn't know where we were going to end up. You know, defending the land, or housing, or rallying, or violence against women, or even going against the police, you know, when you try to occupy. We got Sister Watch started. So, Rita, this is just another level of our life where we're going to be working together. You know, and thank you for being there. And I want to thank everyone who is here, you know, to honor this incredible elder. I love her very much.
I just want to introduce one of our young ladies, Selena Martin. Okay, anyways, she was just a little wee girl who was one of our flower girls. So, Rita. And she made the quilt, one of the youngest girls, Miss Hyde.
She silently says thank you to everyone, and she's going to blanket Rita. She was one of the youngest girls to make her and her two sisters, they made a quilt, which we don't have out today, but at the time she must have been about 3-5 years old or something.
This is amazing. Thank you all. Oh, Rita. As a box here presented to Rita with a feather and some images from the previous march over the years. We love you, Rita. Nkasay.
I just want everybody to, if you can be so kind, drum up for Elder Rita and for Cecilia Point here. This is almost like the changing of the guards here. When we were called upon to take a journey up at the Unistalton, she never wavered. Even when we were asked to go and occupy in solidarity with the Oka crisis back in '92, never ever wavered. And then we occupied up at Duffy Lake, and we never asked questions because we trusted. And I just want to say how, I mean, we could go on about her, but it's cold and it's raining. We got 30 years of stories. Just a lot of love for this woman. I want to say again, thank you, Elder Rita, for sharing your journey with us and your teachings and your love.
I am so humbled. Thank you for everything. Thank you for always being there. And you know, our Maker is watching over us, especially at this time where there's so much change happening, not only here but all over the world. So I say to you, my dear beloved brothers and sisters, stand up, and you know, it's our time. It's our time is here. What they call the change, and I believe we are the change. So stay strong, pray, look after your families, look after your children, and we need to look after our earth. Ikaw, our mother. Nanas ko mo. Thank you.
My name is Jeannie Smallboy. I want to thank the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tulalip First Nations for welcoming us into their territory to live, work, and to survive. Missing and Murdered March was pivotal in changing my life around. In 2011, I was here downtown and I was homeless. I was lost in addictions, and I missed occasions. I was missing myself, and one morning I woke up to the sound of drumming and singing, and I followed the drum, and I turned the corner and I seen this amazing parade of Indigenous women, and they were drumming and they were singing and they were praying and there was medicine burning, and I felt so emotional because I remembered, the drum from when I was growing up. Our family were, cultural, ceremonial. I grew up with powwows, and that part of my life, because of the impacts of colonialism, the impacts of intergenerational trauma, residential schools, 60 all of that impacted me and ended me up down here. So, when you see people, down here, they all have a story, they all come from a place. And the Indigenous people of this country were displaced, they were disconnected, they were dehumanized. That's the place that we come from. That's resilience that we have. We have our ancestors with us, but it gets so disconnected that you end up lost, like myself. So that day in 2011, when I seen the march, I asked one of the marchers, what is this for? Why are they doing this? And they said it was for the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. And it made me cry because, like I said, I could have been one of them, but I knew personally many women that were here that took care of me, that were so kind and compassionate. They were like family to me. They took care of me. They were such a part of my life. And one day, they were gone. Never heard from them again. Still don't know where they are. And unfortunately, a couple have been recovered, one at Bigton Farms. So this march was pivotal in turning my life around. It sent me on a healing journey where I sought out my culture, sought out ceremonies, and during that journey, I was gifted ceremonial ribbon skirts to identify myself to the spiritual realm and ceremonies as a life giver. And it reignited that sense of pride in my identity as an as an Indigenous life giver, and that should be protected. that is sacred, and that above all else we should honor each other as life givers each other. It's not just violence against women for men, it's also violence towards each other. But this march is a reminder every year to Canada that there's genocide taking place here. Every year in Canada, it's a reminder that you cannot kill our women and our girls. Every year, it's a reminder that we need to do better to protect the ones that aren't even born yet, the ones that are born yet. They don't need to walk around with a target on their back like they do today. So with saying that, I've assembled some women here for a poem that I read. It's called If I Were a White Girl. I don't think I can read it.
Sorry. My name is Sierra Tasha Baker. I consider Jamie Smallboy my aunt. I'm from the Squamish Nation. I'm also part of Muscle Band. My popular name is Isabella, which is a creative one. I'm highly honored. This is Jamie Smallboy's poem, and I will read this on the behalf. If I were a white girl, they would have found me by now. They would have had hundreds of people searching for me. Not just my family and my friends. If I were a white girl, the police would have believed my mom. Not true! Something happened to me. I would reach her if I could, but I couldn't. It was a dead end. If I were a white girl, they would have started an investigation instead of saying I was partying with friends or I didn't want to be found. Because I wasn't, and I did, but there was no help around. If I were a white girl, I wouldn't be lying here now smelling my own decay, wondering, will the snow find me before my family does, as my killer walks away. If I were a white girl, he wouldn't have stabbed me repeatedly, slathering my Indian blood while knocking out my teeth. If I were a white girl, my brown flesh wouldn't have been torn as he was dragging me through the gravel into the trees. If I were a white girl, he would have punched me. He wouldn't have punched me in the face for fighting, as he tried to choke out my last breath. If I were a white girl, he wouldn't have bit me, spit on me, and beat me, as he raped me before my death. If I were a white girl, would he have been excited by my terror and my fear, or my rejection of his sexual advances and his offer of cheap beer? If I were a white girl, I would likely have been his passenger, and certainly not his prey. If I were a white girl, he wouldn't have dared to think of killing me this day. But wait, if I were a white girl, he would have felt obligated to get me safely to where I needed to go. And if I were a white girl, I wouldn't have been hitchhiking in the first place. I'd have opportunity, privilege, and a home. If I were a white girl, I wouldn't have a target on my back, placed for me at birth. I wouldn't be missing and murdered and laying dead here on the earth. I'm an endangered species, yet not important enough to talk or great white lists. Your Indian act couldn't stop me or my bloodline. Your sterilization crusade was cut short. Your society grooms those that kill me, and there is no justice for me in your courts. You're killing me now with your own hands, Canada. That is genocide. If I were a white girl in this country, I wouldn't have to fight this hard to survive, only to die here today, this way. Jamie Smallboy. Vice President.
Powerful. In honor of the Missing and Murdered March, the shirts will be sewn together and gifted to them as a banner that they can carry with them every year from this day forward. And I hope to be part of the Ribbon Skirt project, to be part of that continuing, because the skirts are ceremonial and they're sacred and they bring healing. And they're also healing in ceremony as you make them. You know, every stitch that goes into there, there's prayers, there's feelings, there's thoughts of all of those that have passed on before us. And I just want to thank all of those that have come forward to show their support to the march. There's a lot of women that are out there, so many new families that have lost loved ones that are left behind, and they need your prayers, they need your help, they need you to see us, and they need you to help protect us. Hi.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you for all of us standing here.
Our family, my daughter is here.
Denise, Skyze, Sakaze, Saisozi, Alicia Peters, Gitsan Mutsuitin, Boston. This is where Cecilia Ann McCall comes from. She is Kidunda.
She comes from the Bear Clan. She comes from the House of Spokes. She comes from Gitsan Matriarchs. And we are here to march for her today, as well as all the other missing and murdered Indigenous women in Two-Spirit. My cousin, Valentine, she went missing a year after Cecilia went missing on the Highway of Tears in Smithers, BC. We're here to represent our families. We're here to walk with all of you, to bring healing within our families, to walk in a good way. We're walking with our sisters and we love them all. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about Cecilia because in the write-ups it doesn't say where she's from. She has a family, she has a home. She's from Woodset on her grandfather's side, and her grandmother's side, she's Woodset and Gitsan. And I'm just grateful to be here. My mom's been bringing me here since I was a little girl, and now I'm 35 years old, so she's been bringing me for about 30 years, so I feel as old as those flower girls here. But thank you for your time, and thank you for listening and sticking through the snow. What's that?
I'd just like to say, someone knows something out there. Please help our families make closure. Come forward. That's a heavy load that you're carrying. Very thankful for the downtown east side for all they have done. Thank you for being there for all our families, and keep your prayer chains going. Great Spirit bless you all with love. Snakalia, thank you for having us.
Snakalia.